Welcome to this deep dive. Today we're looking at something, well, a real tension at the heart of the AI industry.
It really is. On one hand, you have this incredible refinement, AI systems getting almost surgically precise.
And on the other, you have the pioneers, the founders of the field, making huge bets on a completely different direction.
It's that contrast between intense practical progress and a real strategic uncertainty about the future.
That's our mission today. We'll start with a huge breakthrough in image generation, then pivot to a pretty secretive new startup from an AI titan.
And after that, we'll cover the critical updates from companies like OpenAI and, of course, finish with the latest trending tools.
Okay, let's unpack this. So let's start with that new technical capability. I think for years, the biggest frustration with AI image generation has been precision.
Oh, absolutely. The lack of control. You get a beautiful image, but if you want to move one tiny thing,
You're stuck. You have to regenerate the whole thing or, drag it into Photoshop and start cutting it up manually. The AI gives you this beautiful but totally flat canvas.
it's the difference between a final JPG and the actual editable project file. And that editability, that control, that's been the big advantage for traditional creative software.
Well, that advantage is now being directly challenged by the Qwen image layered model from Alibaba. The idea behind it is it's simple but kind of revolutionary.
Inherent editability from the moment of generation. It decomposes the image into multiple independent layers,
And what kind of layers are we talking about?
specifically RGBA layers. And that A is critical. For anyone listening, that's the alpha channel, which controls transparency.
So by separating everything into its own layer with its own transparency info, you can manipulate one object without messing up everything around it.
Exactly. No content bleed, no corruption of adjacent objects. You can finally perform what they're calling high-fidelity elementary operations.
Okay, so let's make that practical. I generate an image of a red sports car on a city street. With older models, changing the car's color would.
It would mess up the reflections on the road, the windows, everything. It wouldn't look right.
But with Keen, I can just grab the car layer, change it from red to blue, and the street, the buildings, they all stay perfectly intact.
That's the surgical precision.
Yeah.
And the documentation mentions something called variable layer decomposition and even recursive decomposition. And that idea of recursion is really powerful.
So what does that mean, recursive decomposition? How does that work for a creator?
Okay, so take that city street image. At first, you might get 3 layers.
Yeah.
The background, the car, and maybe a bird in the sky.
Simple enough.
But recursive decomposition means you can then take that car layer itself and break it down further into sublayers.
So the wheels become a layer, the body paint is another.
Exactly. The wheels, the paint, the interior. You can start with a big separation and then just keep drilling down to the microscopic components you need to control.
So you could have, theoretically, infinite layers of control.
That's the idea. And this isn't just a gimmick. It's a strategic move to push AI from being a novelty generator into a truly professional utility. It's a huge step.
A huge step in refining the current paradigm. But, precision only matters if the underlying model can actually reason about the world.
Which brings us to our next major development. This is a profound challenge to the supremacy of large language models.
We're talking about the official confirmation of advanced machine intelligence, AMI, the new startup from AI pioneer Yann LeCun.
And this is not just another AI company. LeCun is one of the godfathers of modern AI, where he puts his focus. The whole industry pays attention.
And his focus is entirely on something called world model AI. He's positioning it as a completely alternative path to LLMs. What does a world model actually try to do?
What's fascinating here is it starts at the core limitation of LLMs. They're phenomenal at predicting the next word in a sentence. They're statistical pattern matchers.
But they don't really understand anything, do they?
Not in a human sense. They lack an intrinsic understanding of physical reality, of cause and effect.
So if I ask an LLM, if I push a glass off a table, what happens? It knows the answer because it's read it a billion times.
Precisely. It doesn't actually model the physics of gravity or mass. A world model AI is designed to do exactly that. It learns the internal rules of its environment.
Whether that's physics or, market dynamics.
Any environment.
Yeah.
And it uses that internal model to simulate complex cause and effect scenarios. They're built for prediction and comprehension, not just language.
So the key benefit here has to be about reliability, about getting rid of hallucinations.
That's the promise. Because they're grounded in causality, they have the potential to massively reduce the hallucination problem, which is, crucial if AI is going to move into high-stakes areas like robotics or industrial control.
And the money behind this, it's staggering. He's brought on Alex LeBrun as CEO, and they're reportedly seeking $500 million at a $3 billion valuation.
That fundraising goal is a statement of intent. It shows a huge amount of confidence that just scaling up current LLMs might not be the answer.
A belief that the next big breakthrough requires a totally different architecture.
One focused on simulating reality, not just predicting language. It's a high-risk, high-reward bet on the future.
So we have Qwen refining the present and AMI trying to redefine the future. Let's shift gears now and cover everything else in AI today. We'll take a slightly slower, more measured rhythm for these critical updates.
Starting with OpenAI, we're really seeing two major stories. The first is about user experience, and the second is about, well, massive financial ambition. On the user side, they're rolling out new personalization features in ChatGPT.
And this is more than just custom instructions, right?
Much more. Users can now actively go into the settings and adjust things like the AI's warmth, its tone, its enthusiasm, even how frequently it uses emojis.
So you can tune it to be quirky for a brainstorming session and then immediately switch it to be completely professional for writing a formal memo.
Precisely. You can select preset personality types, quirky, professional, friendly, to match what you're doing. You can find it under settings in the personalization area. It shows they know that user satisfaction now depends on context, not just raw power.
And speaking of power, their financial strategy is aiming for numbers that are just hard to comprehend for a pre-IPO company.
They are reportedly aiming to raise capital that could value the company at up to $830 billion. That figure is astronomical. It would put them in the same league as some of the largest, most established tech giants in the world.
But how do you even get to that kind of valuation? Individual subscriptions are pretty cheap. Where is that revenue engine?
The sources show a really crucial shift here. OpenAI is now making significantly more money and achieving much higher margins from its enterprise and business clients, not from individuals.
So what are companies paying for that justifies that kind of premium?
It's really about three things: security, control, and reliability. Enterprises using ChatGPT Enterprise, or the API, are paying for data residency guarantees, for guaranteed uptime, and for the ability to fine-tune models on their own private data. They're buying an infrastructure for competitive advantage, not just a chatbot.
That makes sense. It's an infrastructure play. Now, shifting to the developer world, there was a big acquisition with Cursor acquiring Graphite.
Right, and this is a textbook example of consolidation. Cursor is known as an AI coding platform. Graphite specialized in AI-powered code review.
So the goal is to own the entire software workflow, from the first line of code all the way to review and shipping the final product.
Exactly. This is a broader market trend. The expectation is that AI shouldn't be a separate tool you copy and paste into. It needs to be integrated across the entire engineering lifecycle. Standalone tools are finding it very hard to compete against these all-in-one platforms.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Let's move into our final segment and look at the practical tools that are getting a lot of buzz right now.
We can probably group these into a few categories. You've got agentic development, creative content tools, and then some really specialized enterprise solutions.
Kicking off with developer platforms, the big one is Google's Anti-Gravity. It's their agentic development platform, basically designed to evolve the IDE into an agent-first era.
Then for more general automation, there's Incredible. This lets you create AI agents that just run 24/7, handling automated tasks.
In the infrastructure space, Fireworks AI is getting a lot of attention. It's for developers building their own products, offering super fast inference and fine-tuning services.
Moving over to creative and marketing, there's Loki.build. It uses AI to help you design and ship really high-quality landing pages very, very quickly.
And for media creators, Cybercut is a great one. It's laser-focused on creating viral social clips with AI-powered editing.
Then in the specialized enterprise world, you see some fascinating things. Eve Legal offers end-to-end AI workflows for law firms, specifically plaintiff firms, from intake all the way through litigation.
We're also seeing tools move beyond the keyboard. Whisperflow is a voice-driven AI that lets you think, write, and work completely hands-free.
And finally, with all these autonomous agents coming, security is key. Keycard AI is tackling that. It provides secure identity and access management specifically for these autonomous AI agents.
A really interesting mix of tools there.
So what does this all mean? I think the core insight today is this real strategic tension in the market. On one side, you have companies like Alibaba refining the current AI architecture to incredible levels of precision, like we saw with Qwen.
They're making the tools we have today immensely better.
And on the other side, you have veterans like Jan LeCun betting €500 million that the whole LLM paradigm is fundamentally limited. AMI is a search for a foundational breakthrough.
It's the classic battle between evolution and revolution.
Exactly.
So for you, the learner, I think the critical question to think about is this. Our world is currently dominated by language prediction, by systems that are brilliant at guessing the next word. But will the next truly great leap in AI require moving beyond that and instead building systems that truly model physical reality and causality, the way Jan LeCun is trying to do? It challenges the very foundation of the systems we use every single day.
We've given you the map. Now we get to see which path the future actually follows.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. If you found this useful, please follow and share the podcast.
See you in the next episode.